Good morning, Brownsville. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're watching this feed. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Frankie Olivo. Our program focuses on the very important issues that are affecting our local community. We have shed light on injustices and we've allowed for our platform, this mic, to be that of the voice of the people. Now, if this is something that you can see yourself supporting, well, we ask that you join the cause. Make sure that you subscribe to all of our social media platforms. Currently, right now, this live program is being streamed on X, formerly known as Twitter, and on Facebook. We could be found under Frankie Olivo. Make sure to follow our personal page on Face. We could be found under Olivo Frankie. But more importantly, if you haven't already, create a Gmail account, go to YouTube, like, follow, and subscribe to our YouTube channel titled Frankie Olivo TV. It's free. Remember, Brownsville, I will never ever ask you for money. I will never ever ask you for food. All I ask of my community is something very, very simple. Be part of the cause. Subscribe and follow to all of our social media platforms. Currently, right now, I'm proud to say that as of this morning, we are at 932 subscribers on YouTube. The goal by the end of this year is to reach the 1,000 mark. I made a promise to my community. If you help me get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, we will release 3 stories. I have 3 banger stories ready to go. They're very juicy. One involves a grading scandal at a local high school where a parent who was a counselor manipulated grades for their child to move up in rankings. Do you want to know about that? The who, the what, the where, the when, the why? We also have a story regarding a elected official. We have receipts of possible harassment. The most juiciest story out of the 3 is administrators doing the hokey pokey on school time, on school property. They were placed on leave, but magically, mysteriously, they were brought back. Why? We know the details, and we'll gladly share them with you, my people. At the end of the day, everything that we talk about could be corroborated. We bring receipts. Do you want to know about these stories about a grading scandal, about a politician harassing someone, and administrators having sex on campus? Well, if you want to know the details, all I ask for something is very simple. Go to my YouTube channel, Frankie Olivo TV. Subscribe. It's free. Remember, Good Morning Brownsville will come on Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Sometimes a little bit after, religiously. So make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel titled Frankie Olivo TV. We will not be silenced. And always remember, Brownsville, we are forever grateful to each and every one of you for the time and attention that you provide our platform. Thank you so much for that. How we doing, chat? How we doing? Happy Tuesday. I hope yesterday was a great start to your week. I know it's hard coming back from the holidays. If you are like me, you are hasta la with turkey. We are eating turkey for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Please stop. I'm tired of it. I hope you had a great Monday, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope you have an even better Tuesday. Best believe that we're sending positive vibes your way. That way we can make it through the finish line, which is Friday, and welcome the weekend with open arms. We have a few weeks to go before we have another holiday break, Christmas and then New Year's. How are y'all enjoying this weather? Me personally, I love gloomy, cold, rainy weather. It's the perfect time to make babies. I am of the belief that we have to take advantage of the few days that we have like this. Living in South Texas, unfortunately, we could possibly count with our hands the number of days that are fresh, that are cold for the most part, 9, 10, 11 months out of the year, unfortunately. are scorching hot. So I hope you're enjoying this weather. I am. A few things before we start. We have several things coming up, ladies and gentlemen, that we will be monitoring. The big topic right now is redfish, redfish. We have a lot of concerned citizens that are asking, "Hey, why am I being charged for a service that I didn't ask for?" Many advocates, many environmentalists, many pro Mother Earth are saying, "Hey, major metropolitan cities throughout the state of Texas incorporate this recycling initiative where they don't give the option to their residents to opt out. So we have to mirror what they're doing. And I think people here are frustrated because when we talk about PUB, we have no faith in them. That's just the truth. We are being charged, what, $5-7 for a resaca fee? Are our resacas being maintained? Are they being cleaned? Are the dredges being worked on? Is it only the people that live in the resacas that they're the ones that benefit, while we in the hood, we don't have a resaca, dog? And we have a resaca, we go swim in that mother sucker. Why am I paying a fee? I could understand why people are upset of saying, "Hey, I'm being charged for something that I didn't ask for." Hey, I'm a business owner. How about I charge you $5 for consulting work? Hey, I'm helping your life. I'm helping your business. But you're, hey, bro, I didn't ask for this. That's the same sentiment that many people have. And look, it's a polarizing issue. On one side, you have environmentalists that are all about eco-friendly, green, recycling. And the other hand, you have, I don't give a crap. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. I don't need to be charged $5. And people are saying, "Hey, it's just $5, Frankie. Are you that broke? You can't really afford it?" But when we really think about it, ladies and gentlemen, it's more the principle behind it. First, it started with a resaca fee. Then it starts with a recycling fee. When are we going to end? My people are tired of taxes. Imagine if we did this during the revolutionary period. Nah, hombre, they would rise up like crazy. Here we say, here, take 30% of my check. See, llévatelo. Oh, you want $5 for resaca? Here, take it. Oh, you want $5 for recycling? Here, take. When is enough? Today, ladies and gentlemen, the city of Brownsville does have their monthly meetings, and an agenda item is placed for today's meeting where the issue of redfish, of recycling, will be up for discussion. Unfortunately, we, the community, would not be privy to that. To those discussions. There is an agenda item for the issue of recycling to be discussed in executive session amongst the attorneys and city council members. There is talks of someone, and we will post of who we feel is possibly working behind the scenes to give relief to our people. We have a commissioner that could possibly want to gather support to bring this to the forefront. Again, there are a lot of people that are suffering. I understand that we want to be green, we want to recycle, but at the end of the day, there are people on a fixed income, our elderly population. Many people say, hey, it's just a cup of coffee. You can't afford $5, Frankie? Golly, give me a break, bro. At the end of the day, $5 to you and I. Horta, $5 to you and I. It may not be a lot, but when you multiply, let's say what, 30,000 homes, 50,000 homes, you multiply that by 5, you get an X amount of number, and then people are saying that this recycling service is double dipping because they are selling the recycling material that they receive. So essentially they're raking it. So that is an issue that we will talk about very soon. I do have a court hearing set for tomorrow on a personal issue. Um, my friend, God rest his soul, is no longer with us, and his wife asked me to participate in the proceedings where they will be dividing his estate to his children. The court is at 8:39, if I'm not mistaken. I will try to come on live as soon as I'm done. But just in case you don't see me, just in case I'm past the hour, past 10, just be patient with me. I will be in court tomorrow for that civil matter for the passing of my friend. I usually don't like to share personal stuff, but again, in case you don't see me tomorrow morning, I'll go live whenever I can. I'm guessing maybe 11, 12. I'll go on very quickly and talk about the important matters that are happening within the city of Brownsville. Faith, hope, and love. Hey, brother, blessings, much love, and long live the legend Erasmo. Been following y'all forever. I appreciate that, faith, hope, and love. Many people ask me, why do you do this? Don't you have a job? Are you that broke? Are you that broke that you're resorting to podcasting? Um, Whenever we lose a loved one, we always try to keep their memory alive. And everyone in their each particular way tries to keep that memory alive. People get tattoos. People put rotolos, emblems, signs, posters on the back of their cars and said, "In loving memory." This is the way that I'm coping with the loss of my predecessor. It is because of him that I'm doing this every day. I chose to take his 9 a.m. slot so his memory could live forever. Whenever they ask of who this crazy madman is that is talking about these important issues, and look, I'm proud to say, with all humility, I'm proud to say that people know who Frankie Olivo is. People know who Good Morning Brownsville is. This podcast has become an avenue where people come and listen. They may not agree with it, but we are proud to say that we are viewed by the thousands. And for that, we are forever grateful, Brownsville. It is because of this, Mike, we feel as if we have a great responsibility to bring about positive change that we so desperately need within our area. I learned from my uncle that was very passionate about the city, was very passionate about the school district. And one thing that he taught me was it's going to live with me forever. You have to be people's champion. Give voice to the voiceless. People don't have the luxury of being outspoken, of fighting for what they believe in. And maybe I'm crazy, but this has become my destiny. It doesn't benefit me to talk about the things that we've talked about because at the end of the day, it puts a bullseye on my back. I'm a small business owner, ladies and gentlemen, and we talk about things that nobody wants to talk about. But I feel as if it is important. It is important for us as a community to be informed. Unfortunately, I've spoken about this before, and I hate to repeat myself. Unfortunately, here at the city of Brownsville, we do not have investigative journalism. If you've noticed, our platform is designed in a way to hold our elected leaders and those in leadership positions accountable. We never take nothing personal. To us, this coming on live is business. We never go against the people. We never go against business owners. We go up against those that are entrusted by the community, that promise us, that look us in the eye and say, I'm going to fight for you. What really bothers me is that whenever we entrust those individuals with our vote, they take control of our seat at whatever government entity they sit on, and they forget. It is only whenever they need our vote, once again, that they come begging and asking for us to reelect them. I am proud to say that I feel as if the community now is sick and tired of career politicians. If you followed yesterday's program from here till March the 3rd, we are going to talk about those very important issues because we want a government. We want politicians that are working for us, the people. I want them to be the last ones in line. Unfortunately, here in Cameron County in South Texas, these politicos are the pediches in the front asking for handouts. That ends here with us. Again, we are going to be supporting people on both sides of the aisle, ladies and gentlemen, Democrat and Republican. And maybe that might not sit well with a lot of people because we have been very vocal of the Cameron County Republican Party, how they themselves they openly endorsed, encouraged their people to vote for Democrats in Nurit Galansky and Pedrito Cardenas. Our program here, ladies and gentlemen, is wanting to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I will make no secret about it. We will support like-minded candidates on both sides of the aisle that are all about the people. Captain Bob, someone that I appreciate, and I hope that he continues to do lives. He talks about an organizational chart. He talks about an organizational chart. And he says that we, the people, are the elected officials' bosses. But sometimes it doesn't feel that way. It really doesn't. So that is the reason why I come before you every day at 9 a.m., Monday through Friday, because I want you to remember the name of Erasmo Castro, someone that was very passionate about the city. He was ridiculed. He was mocked. He was laughed at. But one thing that we can all agree on is that he fought for what he believed in. He fought for injustice. He fought to give people a voice. And we hope that when our day is done, that we will be considered the same. So thank you so much for those kind words. Faith, hope, and love. We're trying our very best to keep you informed, to make sure that the politicos know that they are on the hot seat, that they are being watched. And if you can inform the community and make a name for yourself, why not? And look, I'm very proud of what I've done. Many people have said, "Oh, well, you're just after likes. You're just after growing your page." I'm like, well, isn't every person wanting to grow, either professionally, personally? That is our goal. Whenever you open up a business, do you want to just be stagnant? Do you just want to, I'm happy with my few clients? No, you want to grow, and you want to get as many people as possible. That's the same thing that we're doing here, and I'm very proud to announce that, man, we are being watched from here to Corpus Christi, ladies and gentlemen. People from Harlingen have been actively calling me, messaging me, keeping me up to date with everything that is going on. Thanks so much, Horta. Appreciate you, man. And that is our goal. Our goal is to be a news agency. Our goal is to our goal is to keep you informed. We want to be your source of information, ladies and gentlemen. Oh fuck, I would say rock bottom, nigga, but fuck. Life is all about ups and downs. I think a person is ultimately defined on how they react, how they bounce back from life. We all fuck up. We all mess up. Nobody's perfect. We try to put our best foot forward. I understand that possibly many people have criticized me. And this was something that I had a hard problem with my previous relationship. My previous relationship, it was difficult because she's an attorney, was a vendor. And here I was with my uncle talking about everything that's going on, which ultimately affected her job. And I think that was a big reason why, a part of the reason why I have a lot to do with the reasons why we're not together. But I like to think that people are defined on how they react to being rock bottom. I think that ultimately defines the character of a person. I have never shied away from my imperfections, from my transgressions, and I think it's important for people to know. And I try to be as transparent as possible. I try to keep my personal life close to the vest as possible because this is a very dangerous job. I've already been threatened with my life at least 3 times that I know of. People keep on saying that they're gonna sue me. Just do it already. Don't talk smack. Talk is cheap. At the end of the day, everything that we talk about, we um, we can corroborate with our messages. Good morning, Culver. Thank you so much for tuning in. Um, Today, ladies and gentlemen, today we'll be talking about a very, very interesting topic, ladies and gentlemen. I want to ask you the question: is the law here in Cameron County soft on crime? And I think this is very important based on yesterday's events that happened in here in Cameron County. As we all know, we've been following a story that has captured the minds and ears of many people because it was something that has been brewing as of late. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about and ask you the question, you, the community. Is Cameron County soft on crime? And the main point that I want you to remember throughout the course of today's program is, what message does this send to the community? At the end of the day, that is something that is very, very important for us to keep in mind. You know, whatever I say, whatever I do, whatever I say is whatever I do. Actions speak louder than words. Whenever we have a perception that our community does not go after crime, then we just become a lawless city, a lawless area. Today we titled our program "Hide Your Kids, Hide Your Wives." Is the law soft in Cameron County? Because a perception that authorities are soft on crime, it can have significant effects on a community. When residents feel that that criminal behavior is not taken seriously, well, trust in law enforcement and local governments may decline. It could lead to a reduced cooperation with police and a weakened sense of public safety. There is a fear of frustration that can ultimately increase community tension, which ultimately can encourage individuals to take matters into their own hands, especially a case like this. And they could even embolden offenders who believe consequences are minimal. Over time, ladies and gentlemen, the perception, whether accurate or not, it can contribute ultimately to a cycle of insecurity, a lower quality of life, and diminished confidence in the fairness and effectiveness of the justice system. And that is how we will start today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in, Brownsville. Now, we have been covering throughout, for the past 6 months, it seems, we have been covering a very, very interesting topic. If you remember, and I would give and dare say that the reason why people are starting to tune in to Good Morning Brownsville is because of the things that we've covered. And one of the main stories that we have covered has been what has been brewing at Rivera High School. Again, whatever I say, ladies and gentlemen, whatever I say has no weight. I want you to do your own investigation. At the end of the day, I'm not here to convince you. That's not my job. My job is to provide you information. My job is to provide you facts. I don't want you to misconstrue our purpose. We will never, ever try to use this mic to sway public opinion. Our job before you is to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. My job before you is to start the conversation. I want to hear your thoughts as a mother, as a father, as a child, as a community member, as a taxpayer. That's what I want. While other platforms don't dive into this type of rhetoric, into these type of stories, we will. Because it is important for us to amp up these discussions, because at the end of the day, they're very serious in nature. Optics, ladies and gentlemen, I've noticed that optics at the end of the day is very important. The way I dress, if you see me here all chancludo, despeinado, with a fork on the side of my glasses, encuerado, maybe you might not take me seriously. Maybe if I have a suit and a shirt, este vato se parece a la mera neta. Let's listen to him. Optics at the end of the day is very, very important. Throughout the course of this program, for the next 30 minutes, I want you to think of something. After everything that we talk about, I want you to think of, what's the message to the community? Because optics, ladies and gentlemen, optics is very, very bad. If you followed Good Morning Brownsville, back in May, we did cover the story titled Rivera High School is a Cesspool. Our programs could be found under YouTube. That's why we highly encourage you to follow our YouTube channel titled Frankie Olivo TV. Our lives on Facebook, after a while, they go away. After 30 days, they delete. So our library can be found under Frankie Olivo TV. So that's why we encourage you to subscribe to our channel. In case I ever reference a story, you can always go back to YouTube and find it there. So please, it's free. Subscribe to our channel. Back in May, ladies and gentlemen, we brought you facts. We brought you receipts where we brought a victim that goes back 10 years that said, I was also a student when Ricky Trujillo was a teacher, and I had intercourse with him at least 10 times. I can describe his mother's home. And again, if you want to go back to the May video, I show the text messages of this victim. And she says, hey, this 19-year-old that he's pleading guilty to is not his first one. We go even further, 20 years, where another victim says, Forty Trevino, he knows who I am. I was scared then. I'm not scared anymore. I'm a parent. He knows what he did. Forty Trevino was, I'm going to sue Frankie. I'm going to sue Frankie. Why do you want to sue me for? Don't you want to sue the victim? She's the one that's making accusations against you on my page. It's not like if I'm forcing her. It's not like if I'm making things up. That's why I don't get people. They try to save face. Oh, I'm going to sue you. Oh, cease and desist. Oh. Just do it already. If you're going to sue me. What are you going to take, my $47 with 63 cents and my laptop and my mic? I'll fight you for the laptop and the mic. You could take my $46 with 63 cents. These people want to save face, and it's like, hey, I'm not the one saying it. We can corroborate everything that we say. I think that is very unique about our program. We talk facts, ladies and gentlemen. We can corroborate everything that we say. We talked about how Rivera High School was a cesspool going back 20 years. There was this notion that teachers, coaches were having relationships with students. I found one 20 years ago. I found one 10 years ago. And she said, this is how it happened. This is what happened. I had sex with him 10 times. Yesterday, Ricky Trujillo did enter a plea of guilty. And look, before we continue, I want to say something and be very, very clear about this. I have the utmost respect. I have the utmost respect for attorneys, for judges, for the positions as elected officials. They have a very difficult job. Very difficult job. I don't want to undermine them. I don't want you to feel as if I am belittling them, as if I'm challenging them. Only an idiot would challenge the district attorney and the judges, right? Because they can make your life hell. Trust me. I know. Never. We have the utmost respect for them. They have very difficult jobs before them. We understand that. And we don't want you to misconstrue and say that this program is designed to poke holes to no. Again, at the end of the day, we want to have a conversation, a civil dialogue, and ask the tough questions because at the end of the day, many community members are saying what Jose Angel are saying. Hey, the Fajita bandit got the full weight of the law compared to someone who was a coach, who was entrusted, who was entrusted to make sure that they had an obligation to teach, to educate our children, when in reality, he was grooming them. He was having intercourse with them. And look, a big discussion has been, and I understand, people are saying, hey, no es una muchachita, ya es una mujer, ya tiene 19 años. ¿Y por qué tiene 19 años si está en la prepa? I've heard that. Now, there's many reasons why this young adult is possibly still in high school. Maybe she was held back a year. There's so many reasons why. It's not. Many people are trying to allude to the fact that that she's not very bright and she failed and she's at fault and this, that, and that. At the end of the day, people want to place blame on both the teacher, coach, and the student. Many people, men and women, have gone on our page, if you don't believe me, and they've stated, hey, she knew what she was doing. Why does nothing happen to her? At the end of the day, for those that aren't aware, it is against the law. It is against the law for an educator to have any sort of relationship with a student. It doesn't matter whether the student is 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, as long as there is that teacher-student relationship and they go far beyond that, then that is wrong. What many people are starting to say is, well, did he get off easy? What is the purpose? What is the purpose, ladies and gentlemen, of the district attorney? The district attorney, in my opinion, as a layman, as a community member, is to enforce the law, to provide security, to provide peace of mind to the residents. If somebody breaks into our home, if somebody takes the law into their own hands and kills someone, we expect our local, the top law enforcement official in our county to seek justice for families, for the community. At the end of the day, that is something that they should pride themselves on, right? Now, what is the purpose of us as a society? I want to ask you, are we the type that wants to condemn people? And look, maybe I shouldn't say this, but Faith, Hope, and Love opened up with me. Again, I hate to share personal stuff, but whatever. They say I hit rock bottom. I was arrested for sending a dick pic on Snapchat. Now, at the time, I was like, oh my God, this is the lowest point of my life. It wasn't. It still isn't. The most embarrassing thing that ever happened to me was when I was 21 years old and I got a knock on the door and said, congratulations, you a baby daddy. I was like, what? Are you sure it's mine? That to me was the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to me in my family. And trust me, I've had a lot of slip-ups. So the D pick to me, if you want to call that rock bottom, I guess. To me, it's not. Will people hold it against me? Every day. Rightfully so. Is our job as a society to condemn people? Is our job in society to I personally think you are right. You are not choosing both sides. You should be using private to open up. I appreciate you, Contreras. And that's the goal, my friend. I try not to be biased. And again, from here till March the 3rd, we are going to talk about everything. I want to lay everything on the line. I want you to be convinced. I'm not going to convince you on this subject matter, on whatever subject matter. My job is to say, here, what's best for you. That's my goal. That's and we get criticized, we get ridiculed, but hey, if they did it to my uncle, they're going to do it to me. I take it as I'm proud of that. It means I'm doing something right. But what is our role as a community? Should we condemn people? Oh, shame! It's like those women that have extramarital affairs and they they're unfaithful and they want you to be on your knees and I'm a whore. Condemn me. Send me to hell. Shame, shame, shame. What do we expect out of society? Do we expect to condemn people? Now, again, every crime, every sin has its levels, right? Like we can't compare someone that killed somebody to somebody that maybe stole a candy, right? I think it's fair we can all kind of or are we saying, oh, a crime's a crime, it's bad, bad, bad. It doesn't matter whether you sexually assault somebody against their will and you stole a candy, it's still the same. Whenever we think of jail, whenever we think of the justice system, I always think of rehabilitation, right? That is something that always comes to my mind. I think as a community, we want people to be rehabilitated. Frankie, don't be sending dick pics no more. Oh, okay. Yeah. It's important for us to have that understanding, right? That the purpose of jail, that the purpose of the justice system is to rehabilitate people. At the end of the day, when people go and do their time and come out, we want them to be better members of society, right? We don't want them to come out and keep on the criminal spree that they were on. Well, everybody says que se aventaron tiempo en la escuelita, en la sombra, y ahí aprendieron más sus mañas y con más ganas cuando salieron. But I'm asking you the question, how do you feel that a teacher who had sex with a student was given probation? Now, according to reports, the agreement between the state of Texas and the defense team was 5 years probation with up to 6 months of county jail as a condition of probation. I am fortunate. I am fortunate because I worked 8 years for a state district judge. I was in the courtroom every day, civil and criminal matters. And these types of cases happen quite often. Now, we could allude to the fact that Ricky Trujillo had a clean record. Many people said, well, this is his first major offense. Well, it was a big offense, bro. Second-degree felony. What is shocking to people is that many people are starting to think that the law is a joke, that Lady Liberty, that justice is not applied fair and equally. Now, how do you feel as a parent? And this could possibly lead to another question. Is because of this, a teacher having sex with a student only giving 6 months of jail time, is this going to encourage other coaches to do the same? Because, what's the worst that could happen to me? I could lose my license. I'm still going to get probation. As long as she's an adult, it's okay. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. These are questions that people are having. These are discussions that will be had on the kitchen table. Are we empowering people that have that in mind, that they could possibly have sex with a student and nothing's going to happen? What effects is that going to have on BISD? Now, again, this is an agreement that the state and the defense team had. Ultimately, Gamboa, it's going to be the judge who decides whether he approves or rejects the agreement. And voz de la gente, I have heard from multiple people that there was an apartment that was used by coaches who were married, who used this as a frat house, as a bachelor pad to party, to drink, to smash. I've heard this from like 4 people. And this is like a rumor that has been brewing for years. This isn't something that just happened. Did this apartment exist? I believe so. I genuinely believe so. There are many people that stated that yes, it did. What is the reasons why this individual only got 5 years probation? Is he cooperating? Is he going to be giving up names? That's also a possibility, right? He enters a plea deal with the understanding that he's going to talk about what he knows. I don't think that's what's happening, but people have asked, what if he's talking about other coaches, about what he knows? I believe wholeheartedly that this is not the only victim that Trujillo had during his tenure at BISD. Also, before I forget, what message does that send to people about BISD? Again, BISD right now is on a free fall. They are losing students like crazy. Dr. Chavez has stated that he anticipates in 5 years for the student enrollment to be at 27, 28,000. Can you imagine that? A school district that was once a juggernaut, a monster of having 50,000 students enrolled at one time. Now we're at 27 with no sign of stopping. What message does this send to parents? Hey, I'm not going to send my kid to BISD because these coaches, they're going to prey on my child. They're going to have intercourse with them. They're going to get a slap on the hand. I don't want that done to my baby. Carnal, BISD has always allowed teachers to do this to students. It's common knowledge, but if it's a compa, déjalo. Again, there are people that have stated that this was known. Administrators knew about it. Counselors knew about it. Principals knew about it. The students knew about this. And you mean to tell me that for the past 20 years, BISD had no clue what was going on? You mean the principals that have been there before and are currently there? Come on. But we live in a culture where don't say anything. Be quiet. You're going to lose your job. There is a fear. There is a culture that they intimidate people. Again, the victim said Farley's name. What did Farley say? I'm going to sue you, Frankie. Why are you going to sue me, fool? I'm not saying it. The victim is saying it. Again, me, I don't care. People say, oh, I'm going to kill you, or I'm going to hurt you, or I'm going to sue you. Pues dale gas, hombre, que pedo. Like, what do you want me to be? Huddled up in a ball? Ay, 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 me quieres hacer daño? Ay, ay, ay. What do you want me to do? Y'all expect to strike fear in me? Do you not know who I am? Again, they come across this crazy madman. That doesn't bother me. But you would intimidate students. You intimidate teachers. You intimidate. It works with them. Why? Because that's their livelihood. And it's not in their best interest to be a savior, to go against the grain, to talk about these things that are happening. But we will. We'll talk about what's important for our community. They're going to sue us. What? They think a piece of paper is going to give them peace of mind? I encourage it. Sue me. Hurt me. Do whatever you have to do. It's not going to silence me. It's not going to stop me. If anything, it's going to give me more ánimo. I'm going to flap my little wings. Woo! Con más ganas. We stand up to bullies. We fight for injustices. This mic is that of the voice of the people. Best believe that. It might sound corny to say, but this program resonates with people. So the question I ask is, why? Why is this individual getting 5 years probation? Now, again, what is the purpose? What is the purpose of our judicial system? Is it to go hard, the full weight of the law? You want to send a message, or is it to rehabilitate? There are people that are saying, hey, bro, yeah. The guy lost already. Ya perdió todo. He lost his family. Just by losing your family, that's the worst that happened. He's always going to be remembered as that person that crossed that line. He's always going to be blackballed. He's never going to be accepted socially within the circles. Only his family is going to bring him in. Yeah, just drop it, bro. She was 19. But when you think about it, ladies and gentlemen, the case to me, and again, I'm a lay person. I don't know the law. Maybe there are things that we don't know that is happening behind the scenes, possibly. But from the outside looking in, it seems as if it's a slap on the hand. Is our district attorney soft on crime? Now, according to reports, this plea deal that he entered did strip Trujillo of his teaching license. Again, nobody would actually think, right, that he would keep his teaching license. He was facing 20 years in prison for each charge of having an improper relationship with a student, which is a second-degree felony. If he were to serve time, it would be a sentence of no longer than 6 months. Again, that would be a condition of his probation. Ultimately, the one that's going to decide that is the judge. He could give him credit for time served, or he could give him the full 6 months, or he could give him a month, or he could give him nothing. The interesting thing about this case, ladies and gentlemen, is, to me, it was a slam dunk case. As a layperson, as having no background, no degree in law, to me, it was a slam dunk case. Why? Because according to an affidavit, according to the indictment, details that on May the 5th, a victim was interviewed by the Cameron County Children's Advocacy Center, Monica's house, and she told investigators that on April 14th, Trujillo, who was a criminal justice teacher and a girls basketball coach, he asked her to meet him in a classroom. There is footage, there is video that showed that Trujillo was standing by the classroom before entering with that young 19-year-old student. When she came out, she was seen on video fixing her blouse. Shortly thereafter, Trujillo sent the student a message saying, and I quote, "It finally happened. I loved it, even if it had to be rushed. LOL." Not only that, the severity, the balls, los huevos que tiene este vato. Not only did he sleep with a student, he slept with a student in his freaking classroom. What would have happened if somebody would have walked in, if a janitor that had keys would have walked in and caught him in the act? What message are we sending to the parents? Parents, hide your kids, hide your wives. The law is only going to give this guy 6 months of jail time and 5 years probation. He had sex with a student in campus. No les va a pasar nada. Parents are afraid. They're thinking, oh my goodness. And you know what this leads to? Hey, you know what? Well, then I'm going to take action into my own hands. Why? Because the law is not going to do anything. Could it possibly happen? Maybe. And look, if you know dads that have baby girls, oh, good luck. I have seen, ladies and gentlemen, grown men get beat up by their suegros. I have seen grown men get pistol whipped in front of me by a suegro porque le manoseó a su hija, ya de casados. You don't mess with my baby girl. Y el suegro se le dejó caer con las cachas. Cas, cas, cas. Que sea la primera y la última vez, cabrón, que tocas a mi hija, si no te voy a... I was like, wow. You know the special relationship, the special bond that dads have with their daughters? It doesn't matter whether, yeah, they're adults or 18, 19, 20. They're still their baby girls. Going back to the text messages, Trujillo said, hey, we had sex. Oh my God, it was awesome. Not only that, not only was he having sex on campus with this student, the 19-year-old did tell authorities that around Easter, Trujillo picked her up, went to a nearby park, and they had sexual intercourse on 2 occasions. Many people are asking, was he grooming her? Was this something that has been happening for the longest time? Was he a predator? Because again, according to our reports, this isn't Trujillo's only victim. We encouraged the victim to go forward to the authorities. We provided a contact information. Did they make that contact? I don't know. Again, my job is just to get them there. My job is to we're chasing stories, we're breaking news. Our job isn't to force the victim into talking. I said, look, if you want help, I can get you help. Here is the card to the investigator. You reach out to him if you'd like. My job isn't to hold her by the hand and take her. No, that's not my job. Is this something where Trujillo's going to take the fall for something that they want completely gone? I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. Are they going easy on him? Are they giving him a break so he doesn't talk? If you believe that this is the only incident, you are mistaken. Now, coaches are probably going to be on their best behavior. Maybe. I don't know. But what message does this send to the community? Jose Angel, what happened to the Fajita Gate? The guy got 50 years. Are you serious? You mean to tell me that in South Texas, Cameron County, you best not steal fajita, boy? Again, if I remember correctly, there were hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars of stolen money that was used to purchase fajita, and that this guy was selling it to local restaurants. Judge Bañales gave him 50 years. Or maybe I'm mistaken about the amount, but it was something like, whoa, crazy. Don't steal fajita porque te da el tronco. But you could have sex with a student. You'll get 6 months probation as long as you have a clean record. 6 months in jail, 5 years probation. You see where I'm going at? I told you at the start of this program, think about optics. What message does it send to the community? Is this going to empower predators? Is this going to say, al cabo, I'll just lose my license? No hay pedo. La calentura, no pasa nada. Again, we are just saying what the community is talking about. Maybe there are things that are happening behind the scenes that we don't know about. And we hope that the DA's office investigates this through and through. We are confident that Trujillo isn't the only one, based on our reporting. A community member reached out to me yesterday. States, Trujillo only got probation, 5 years, crazy. I knew that was going to happen since she was 19. All these coaches are now going to try and date 18 and up students, seems like. Crazy. Look what she says. Well, they have been doing it. Now they know they can and just get probation. This is a former teacher at Rivera. She's concerned. She has a child. She's got a grandbaby. Look at what she says. Well, they've been doing it. Now they know that they can. Is the law soft on crime in Cameron County to the point where we are emboldening, empowering these predators? They are using this case as a mark to say, if I ever have sex with a student, I'm only going to get probation. That's horrible. That's horrible. Is that the message we want to send to the community? Is that the fear that we have? Again, what if a baby daddy takes action into his hands? Me manoseaste a mi hija. Y crees que nada te va a pasar. Ahora va la mía, cabrón. And we know. Again, I've seen a freaking suegro with the butt of a gun. Moco. I was like, a la madre. Con las cachas, moco. And the guy was like, ya, suegro, por favor. No, cabrón, te querías muy bulle, cabrón. Parents now, dads are going to see this. And if they ever encounter, if something ever happens to their baby, you know what they're going to think? Nada le va a pasar. Nothing's going to happen to him. He's going to get off with a slap on the wrist. I'll do justice for him. Do we want to go that route? I hope you don't misconstrue today's program. I have the utmost respect for judges and I have the utmost respect for lawyers. I've always wanted to be a lawyer. I was fortunate enough to work for Cameron County for 8 years. And honestly, that's the best thing that ever happened to me. I lost a marriage. I got divorced shortly after working for Cameron County. But I would dare say that if it wasn't for my tenure there, I possibly wouldn't be doing what I do now. I made great connections. I made great friendships. I got to meet a lot of amazing people, many people that still work for Cameron County. I'm very fortunate to be a fly on that wall. I was exposed to a lot, and I'm very thankful for that. It's the 197th District Court with Adolfo Cordova, Judge Adolfo Cordova. And I honestly feel, and look, I think the world of judges and I think the world of attorneys. Me personally, I see them as doctors. Just the way we go to a doctor to fix our problems, we're broken. We go to attorneys, we go to judges, and we say, "Hey, please fix me. Please fix my problem." So they're sharks, but it's eat or get ate. The defense team, Nat Perez, my hat's off to you, sir. This is just another example of how great you are. And I'm not blowing smoke. Anybody that knows him, he's business. He seeks the best outcome for his clients and he delivers. I would dare say that he's a top 5 attorney here in the county. Everyone knows who he is. They know if you do something wrong and you want a fighter, you go to Nat Perez. So, how do you feel on this issue? Are you okay with sending your daughters? And look, let's be honest, these young girls, they're very well developed. Now, if you see them at a club, maybe they could be 15, 16, and they could pass for being in their 20s. But just because they're fully developed does not give the men, the grown men, that opportunity to groom, to take advantage of their position. Why do parents send their kids to church and to school? Because they feel as if those are the only places where their children will not be harmed. The only place where they are secure, where those institutions will take care and preserve the innocence of their children as long as possible. At the end of the day, isn't that what you and I are after? To preserve the innocence of a child as long as possible. We know the realities of life. We know the rigors of life. And what can we say? Está cañón la cosa. Esta vida no perdona. It's a jungle out there. So for grown men to groom young women, and look, the discussion again, she's 18, she's 19, she's an adult. Going back to when I was 18, 19, I was still a kid. By law, obviously they're adults, but in reality, we could make the argument that they're still kids mentally. I want this to stick with you. A former teacher at Rivera messaged me yesterday. And look at what she says. All these coaches are now going to try and date 18 and up students. Seems like crazy. Well, they have been doing it. This is someone that was there. Well, they have been doing it. Now they know that they can, and they'll get probation. It is important for us as a community to be vocal about things. Are you okay with this type of punishment? Again, we understand that, we're not after corporal punishment. We're not after, shame, outcast from the world, from the community. I think we can agree that some sins, some crime is worse than others. And maybe if you cross that line and take the innocence of a young adult, maybe that could seem in some people's eyes, and people can make the argument that that's the worst of the worst. because you being in an authoritative position, you crossed that line that you weren't supposed to. I pose you the question, my community. Is the law soft on crime here in Cameron County? Hide your kids, hide your wives. A perception that authorities are soft on crime, it can have significant effects on a community. When residents feel that criminal behavior is not taken seriously, well, trust in law enforcement and local government, it may decline. This could lead to reduced cooperation with police and also weaken a sense of public safety. This fear or frustration ultimately could increase to community tension, encouraging some individuals to take matters into their own hands. Onta mi cacha. Unos cachetazas. Paz, paz, paz. And even it could possibly embolden offenders who believe consequences will be minimal. Trujillo got 6 months in jail, 5 years probation. La calentura, mejor. Over time, the perception, whether accurate or not, can contribute to a cycle of insecurity, a lower quality of life, and ultimately what it does is it diminishes confidence in fairness and effectiveness of the justice system. How do you feel about this, ladies and gentlemen? Are you starting to question our justice system here locally, where the district attorney had a slam dunk case of video, of text messages, of the victim's statement saying that yes, we did have intercourse, but the defendant is only given 5 months probation, 5 years probation with up to 6 months of county jail as a condition of probation. Questions are starting to be asked. Why did the Fajita Gate get it worse? Do we not hold our children, our students in the highest regards and should be protected as a treasure should? That is something that you need to ask yourself. Is Cameron County and the district attorney's office soft on crime? And that, my friends, is the rest of the story. If you haven't already, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page titled Frank Olivo TV. Best believe Good Morning Brownsville will come on at Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. religiously. Sometimes a little bit after. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. Again, I'll be off tomorrow. I have court in the morning for a family matter, for a friend. I will try and go live shortly thereafter. Thank you so much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. I really, really appreciate it for all your time and attention that you provide us. My name is Frank Olivo, and this is Good Morning Brownsville. Peace!